water, earth, fire, air. I used to hear stories about the old days, a time of peace when the Avatar kept a balance between the water tribes, Earth Kingdom, Fire Nation, and air nomads. But that all changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Only the Avatar mastered all 4 elements. Only he could stop the ruthless firebenders. But when the world needed him most, he vanished. 100 years passed, and the Fire Nation is nearing victory in the war. Some people believe that the Avatar was never reborn into the air nomads and that the cycle is broken. But I haven't lost hope. I still believe that somehow the Avatar will return to save the world. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I am the Curious One, and today let's dive into a summary of a world where balance is maintained by a unique being, the Avatar. Book 1, Water. While fishing, Water Tribe siblings Sokka and Katara stumble upon a young boy named Aang and his flying bison Appa, frozen in an iceberg. After freeing Aang, they discover he is an airbender, and everyone believed the air nomads had perished 100 years ago under the Fire Nation's destruction. As the siblings share the century-long conflict with Aang, he reveals his identity as the Avatar.
You're an airbender. Sure am.
In the Fire Nation, Prince Zuko believes in the Avatar's potential return and endeavors to prevent it, since the Avatar is the only one capable of thwarting his nation's victory. Upon discovering Aang's reappearance, Zuko begins pursuing the boy. In response, Katara and Sokka decide to accompany Aang to the North Pole to find a waterbender who can teach him waterbending, marking the start of his Avatar development. Zuko, bitter due to his mother's death and his father's rejection, aims to capture the Avatar to gain his father's respect and restore honor to his nation. However, Iroh, Zuko's uncle, still sees goodness in his nephew, choosing to accompany Zuko on his pursuit of Aang to guide him toward the path of righteousness. As Aang, Katara, and Sokka travel, they make friends and allies, aiding communities in resisting Fire Nation dominance. Aang receives a message from Avatar Roku, warning him about the upcoming Sozin's Comet, which enhances Firebender's power, potentially enabling the Fire Nation to win the war. This prompts Aang to realize the urgency of mastering all 4 elements before the comet's arrival. The group encounters challenges in various villages and cities during their journey. At one point, they encounter a disloyal firebender who agrees to train Aang in firebending. However, a playful firebending accident injures Katara, causing Aang to abandon the training, vowing never to manipulate fire again.
Oh, what's wrong? What did you do?
It was an accident. I was, Katara, I'm so...
I told you we shouldn't mess around with this. Look what you did. You burned my sister.
The group reaches the Northern Water Tribe, where Katara and Aang can receive waterbending training. However, they face gender-based resistance from the tribe's only master. The Fire Nation infiltrates the tribe, initiating a massive attack. Zuko kidnaps Aang while he is in his Avatar state. Upon returning from the spirit world, Aang must deal with the aftermath, facing Fire Nation soldiers and saving the city. Book 2, Earth. After the events at the North Pole, Aang, Katara, and Sokka rest at an Earth Kingdom outpost. Their plan is to seek King Bumi to learn earthbending. General Fong tricks Aang into triggering his Avatar state.
It worked! It worked!
Attempting to defeat the Fire Nation immediately. Aang nearly destroys the military base, but Avatar Roku warns him about the consequences of dying in the Avatar state.
What do you mean?
If you are killed in the Avatar state, the reincarnation cycle will be broken.
The group recovers and continues their quest for an earthbending master. In pursuit of Aang, Zuko and Iroh evade capture by Azula, Zuko's sister. They manage to escape her and the Fire Nation's army. At an earthbending tournament in Shinfu, the the Avatar team meets a powerful earthbender that, in my opinion, is simply the best character in the entire Avatar universe. A blind girl named Toph, who joins their journey. Toph, immensely skilled and analytical, senses the world through vibrations in the ground. However, Toph's strict parents and their sexist expectations hinder her from becoming Aang's earthbending teacher. Despite these challenges, Toph escapes and travels with Aang, Sokka, and Katara. Zuko separates from Uncle Iroh, seeking redemption. When Azula confronts the Avatar team, Zuko and Iroh temporarily reunite with them to face her, resulting in Iroh getting injured. Aang begins his earthbending training with Toph, but struggles with the element's natural opposition to air. Meanwhile, Zuko faces similar difficulties as Iroh attempts to teach him advanced firebending techniques, including bending lightning. To gather more knowledge to defeat the Fire Nation, Sokka discovers an eclipse that will nullify Firebenders' powers. Appa is kidnapped by earthbenders and taken to Ba Sing Se. The group manages to prevent an invasion by the Fire Nation, facing Azula and her allies Mai and Ty Lee. However, they realize Ba Sing Se is under an unusual influence, leading to a political conspiracy. Aang, Katara, Sokka, and Toph infiltrate the Earth King's palace, exposing Long Feng's control and the Fire Nation's plan. After Long Feng's arrest, the group receives separate letters, leading them on temporary individual paths, while the Avatar team is separated. Azula, Mai, and Ty Lee infiltrate Ba Sing Se, posing as Suki and the Kyoshi warriors, and begin to take control, capturing Zuko and Katara, who end up forming a small bond of friendship. Sensing that Katara was in danger, Aang returns from his mission and, along with Iroh, finds the two imprisoned. Zuko, seeing the Avatar in front of him, can't resist the temptation to capture him to gain the prestige of his father and the Fire Nation. So, fighting alongside his sister against his uncle Katara and the Avatar, they manage to injure Aang to the point where they think he's dead. Katara, with Iroh's help, manages to escape and uses healing water to prevent Aang from passing away, and Iroh becomes a prisoner of the Fire Nation. Book 3, Fire. Aang regains consciousness later, finding his hair grown and his friends in Fire Nation attire. They explain that the world thinks the Avatar is dead, hoping to keep this secret as an advantage to prepare for the upcoming battle.
I have hair? How long was I out?
A few weeks.
Everything okay?
We're fine, Dad.
I'm Hakoda, Katara and Sokka's father.
In the Fire Nation, Azula and Zuko are praised by the Fire Lord for Aang's death, but Zuko suspects Aang survived. While Sokka enhances his strategic mind, he seeks a Fire Nation swordmaster to teach him combat, lacking elemental bending like Aang, Katara, and Toph. Uncle Iroh plans an escape from his Fire Nation prison. Zuko sends an assassin to kill Aang. From various sources, Aang and Zuko discover the history between Avatar Roku and Fire Lord Ozai. Once great friends, they separated when Ozai pursued world domination. Years later, during a volcanic eruption on Roku's island, Ozai chose to let Roku die, prioritizing his plan. In his cell, Zuko shares this story with Uncle Iroh, who reveals that, being Roku and Ozai's great-grandson, Zuko can end the conflict and restore peace.
Sozin was your father's grandfather. Your mother's grandfather was Avatar Roku.
Why are you telling me this?
Against her will, Katara learns a dark technique, bloodbending, only possible during a full moon when waterbenders reach their peak abilities. Sokka and Katara set out to find their father Hakoda, imprisoned by the Fire Nation. Zuko assists Katara in confronting the man responsible for her mother's death, earning her trust. As Aang consults his past Avatar incarnations, everyone advises him to kill Fire Lord Ozai in their next confrontation. However, Aang, following his air nomad principles of pacifism, struggles with this idea. Seeking guidance from his past lives, Aang wrestles with the concept of ending Ozai's life. The war begins. White Lotus, a secret society uniting members from all nations led by Iroh, takes responsibility for liberating Ba Sing Se. Zuko and Katara head to the Fire Nation to face Azula.
Sorry, but you're not going to become Fire Lord today. I am.
Sokka, Suki, and Toph confront approaching Fire Nation airships. The comet approaches as Ozai prepares to destroy Ba Sing Se, dominate the nations, and kill the Avatar. Zuko and Katara end up facing Azula, who at this point is disturbingly mad and challenges Zuko to a one-on-one duel, but she ends up playing dirty and attacking Katara. Zuko tries to defend her and gets badly injured. Katara then fights Azula and manages to epically capture her, quickly healing Zuko's wound afterward.
Thank you, Katara.
Meanwhile, Aang goes to confront Fire Lord Ozai. The Sozin's comet finally arrives, and Ozai uses all its power to face Aang, who still can't fully access his avatar state. In the midst of the battle, Aang is thrown backwards onto a rock, hitting exactly on the scar left by Azula. This shock allows him to reconnect with his past incarnations and regain his connection to the Avatar spirit. He then finally enters the Avatar state and easily dominates the battle against Ozai. If he wanted to, he could have finished Ozai off at that moment, but he decided to do something different, immobilizing Ozai and placing one hand on his forehead and the other on his chest. Aang is the first person to perform energy bending, permanently removing Ozai's firebending, ensuring he could never use his power to bring disorder and inequality to the world, thus bringing balance back to the world in the most honorable way possible.
What did you do to me?
I took away your firebending.
In the days following, Fire Lord Ozai and Azula were in prison. Zuko is then appointed as the new Fire Lord and declares that the war is over, and everyone celebrates in a wonderful festivity at Uncle Iroh's tea shop in Ba Sing Se. It ends with a so cute and emotional kiss between Katara and Aang at sunset. So folks, that was the whole story of Avatar, The Last Airbender. And if you love this story as much as we do, you might like to own this beautiful floating Aang Funk Pop, or this really cute Appa stuffed animal, both available for purchase on Amazon, along with Funko Pops of other characters that look just as awesome. Our YouTube channel is new, and we're looking for ways to make an income out of this. So if you like our content and purchase these products using the link in the description, you'll be really helping us out. Thank you to anyone who considers this. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.